What up? How's it going? So it finally happened in that last episode, something that I was kind of sure of. And it's that if we're moving to a whole new place and the show is wrapped around June, then a bunch of people got to go. And I wasn't sure if they were going to. It got to a point where I just didn't expect it to take place at that moment. I thought, let's say this, I thought a lot less were going to die than ended up dying. But the fact that they did is, yeah, that was to be expected, right? Because we're going to head into a new place. We're going to have a bunch of new characters, and I want to see how that goes, right? Because now it's like, it's very urgent. And, of course, I still want to continue to see what's going on in the Canada side, right? Because Luke is dealing with what he's dealing with. Maura, Emily, the most messed up thing about it is, for everything them women went through, I look at them and I'm like, oh, man. They maybe internally, they're not dealing with it as well. But externally, it's all over Luke, right? How much he misses June and Hannah, right? So let's go ahead and start this episode and see what takes place next.
Okay, come on.
Boy, Gilead is so
go
trash.
back and see what happened to them. Maybe they think that they may be okay.
Janine, come on. Janine, they're dead. They're dead.
Which one's going to Boston?
We're not going to Boston.
Yeah, we
know
going
people
west.
there.
I told you we're going west.
Liability alert. She may have to put her down.
Jared, why would we go to the front of the wall?
Because that's where they're still fighting. Chicago is still Chicago. They're not giving up.
People die in wars. They get their arms blown off.
I won't let anything happen to you.
Ooh. They gotta go underneath.
Shut up. Oh, you have died. Okay. Ready?
Thank you. This is incredible.
Well, you've been very kind.
There's no record of your sister or your nephew in any of the refugee camp databases.
I appreciate you checking.
I'll keep looking. The Catholics were really good at forging passports. They could have entered under assumed names.
Because the Catholics are part of a church that has a hierarchy that leads all the way to, it could be a lot more organized for them to get out the country when something like this happens. That's interesting. That's an interesting thing. I'm actually like fascinated by that. Like, oh yeah.
I heard from the court, and there's been a request from Serena Joy.
For what?
She wants to know if you'll see her.
I told them everything. I'm sure she's furious.
Let her be furious. Being able to say your piece to her face. A lot of girls I know would kill for that kind of closure.
Thank you for coming. Please, sit down. And try not to be on my feet for too long.
This bitch got the nerve to.
I'm sure you're wondering why I asked you here.
Yes. Ma'am, I am.
I'm with child. Fuck out of here.
God is truly great.
It's a miracle. I didn't think the commander could.
Gilead's clean water and clean air and God's grace.
Serena's just happy she got a baby. And it still hasn't crossed her mind. Damn. Did all these horrible things and could have gotten pregnant. It hasn't even crossed her mind. She's just talking about it's a miracle and God this and God that. Fuck out of here. And now she thinks she's some kind of martyr because she locked up. Bitch, please. Fuck you and him.
I haven't told him.
Who cares?
And I don't intend to.
Still don't care.
There's a reason why God chose this moment when Fred and I are separated. But now you're here to help me care for this little boy.
Is she?
It's a boy.
It's a boy. Can you imagine?
To help me care
Toy
for.
trucks and
To help me care for.
Catching frogs.
The funky hoe. The bitches out here. Nah, fuck that. She just called this woman back to help. The nerve of this rotten scoundrel bitch. Nah.
My lovely Rita.
My lovely
You
Rita.
were always
Rita,
such
don't
a
fall for the
blessing.
pimping. That Bible thumping horse shit, man. Don't fall for it. Blessings.
No, that's
Righteousness.
for you,
Fuck
so
outta
you
here.
can look
Burn
at
that
whatever you
picture.
want.
You ever seen Omen? That's what that baby is.
It's nice to have a friend.
I hate her so. I finished Breaking Bad and I managed not to have like a straight up hate. And it hit me right this moment because I uttered the words. I hate this bitch. Like, I don't be taking shows that serious and shit funny, but it's like, yo.
God, we thank you for your true and purest gift.
What's the plan? Rook. I'm not a mushroom. So you can't keep me in the dark and feed me lies and shit and expect me to just be okay with it.
I don't do that.
Yes, you do. You don't know where we're going. You don't know if we're going to be okay.
I'm keeping us alive.
They were the nicest. Maybe that's why. Why God wanted them. And not us. At least not you. When we were at the farm, when we were hiding, Alma said we have to wait for June. She made sure we waited for you. Loved you. They all loved you. Did you tell the eyes where to find us? We didn't tell anyone where we were going.
They had her. They had Hannah. I told them where you were. Okay?
This conversation only works with them in this situation. Any other situation, her head would be lopped off very soon after this.
You would have done the same thing.
You don't know what I would have done.
Something stupid and dangerous, and then I would have had to save your ass again.
This is stupid and dangerous. We're going to the front of a war in a refrigerator. I wouldn't have told them where we were. You know that's why they're dead.
I should have left you a long time ago.
I started volunteering here at the clinic about a year ago. With all the insanity surrounding the birth rate, I figured pregnant women need all the help they can get, right? So, Janine, you're considering abortion as your first option?
Yeah, that's why I made the appointment.
Why is that?
Just wasn't exactly planned.
You know, fatherhood can be transformational for young guys. Maybe he want to raise the baby with you.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's a good idea.
Abortion is dangerous. I don't want you to go through with it if you don't have to.
Well, I want to go through with it. That's why I'm here.
Well, we don't do them here.
What?
This a Gilead trick place?
Why the fuck would you have me come in here?
They insert a tube into you and use it to tear the baby apart. Your
What if a
body
chick
was
was
made
like,
to
that's
keep
all
that
good at all,
baby.
but I want this
Get rid
thing
of
yanked
it.
up out? What would they say then? They'd be like, damn, this bitch cold as
All
hell.
women regret doing this, Janine. I know you're used to being underestimated. You think you can't do this. But you're strong, you're smart, and you'd be a great mom.
Interview prep materials from Mrs. Waterford's defense attorney. You weren't expecting this?
No.
Mrs. Waterford's attorneys claim you can corroborate that any action she took regarding June Osborne's pregnancy was a result of extreme duress. Apparently, she was very moved by your visit. She believes the two of you share a strong bond.
Yo, Serena is a evil, just devil, though.
Did you know in Gilead I was officially considered property, registered and everything? Like my old Nissan Altima.
Rita.
Tell him. Tell them. Ruin them. Let's go, Rita.
I hardly recognized you.
Yeah, I know you don't.
How are you?
How am I? Motherfucker, how are you? How? Fred is a fucking evildoer. Are you with your family? Bitch, I could have been with him. I hate the Waterford so much. This funky motherfucker said, are you with your family? Bitch, the nerve of you.
With respect, sir, I'd rather not say.
You're free to do as you please.
Yeah. Yeah, yes. That's the point, bitch.
I am.
Why have you come?
You deal with your family. It's not my job anymore. And I thank God for that every day.
I was never cruel to you.
This episode's hilarious to me, man. Because Fred and Serena just... Woman should take it off. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I was about to say, it's not going to go, it's not going to be all roses when y'all arrive. It's like, they don't trust nothing. They in the middle of a war.
They want to come with us, but they're walking targets.
Hey, we've gotten this far without anyone finding us. We'll do anything you say. We need you.
On Handmaid?
I don't know. They're mean. They're on our side, and you're coming.
Actual fucking sex slaves in America.
We weren't in America.
Well, welcome back. It's a fucking disaster.
Come on, we need some food.
This isn't a charity. Whatever we pulled off that train is all we've gotten in weeks.
We're not asking for charity. You have no idea what we've done.
Which one of you is staying with me?
What?
Either one of you is fine.
That's not what I meant.
It's what you've got.
Not her.
They trying to use them as comfort women now. Ain't that a bitch?
I'm not gonna force you. You guys can just go.
You're not Mayday, are you?
What's Mayday?
He's just a nigga who robbed the train. Weirdo nigga at that. He said, I'm not gonna force you, like he doing her a fucking favor. Dickhead die.
Hey, Teresa said clothes are what they have a lot of since the stores were full when the fight
We can't
started.
stay here.
Did he hurt you?
We'll go someplace else, okay?
Don't do it, Janine. Janine, please.
I am required by law to tell you that an abortion procedure can lead to an increased risk of breast cancer, infertility, and depression. And not by law, I'm also going to say that that's a bunch of crap.
I was about to say, really? Breast cancer? Like, what?
The other place made it sound like something really horrible would happen.
Did you search abortion clinics online and end up there? They're called crisis pregnancy centers, and they lie to women to convince them to keep unwanted pregnancies. You take 1 now and 4 tomorrow morning. You'll have some cramping and bleeding, maybe some fatigue and nausea. But if your symptoms last more than 2 days, I want you to call me.
That's it?
You already did the hard part.
I'm happy for her. For one, she's a pious woman. She just did her. You know what I mean? She wanted everything to run smoothly, and, you know, the fact that they were still trying to manipulate her and use her, and that was some bullshit.
Here, we can stay. It wasn't so bad. Taking my eye patch is cool.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
First, let me start by saying don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you are subscribed, make sure to hit the notification bell. Shout out to all the new viewers. Shout out to all the subscribers. And got a Patreon, full-length early reactions, things like this. If you'd like to, check it out. So, this is something interesting about Janine. The thing with her is, as she is now, she's a simple woman. And I don't mean that, no pejorative shit. When she says to June, I would not have given him up. Oh, that's a fact. June is complicated. But the way her mind works is the reason they're even gone. The way her mind works is the reason those kids got over there. The way her mind works is the reason the show has been going. They have her voiceovers and she's thinking and she relates it to the past and she relates it to the future and she categorizes things in a way. She's very much complicated and her views are complicated. It even took her a while. Like I kept asking, it even took her a while to just go, this is evil. It must be defeated. Stopped. I gotta go. Whereas Janine, it wasn't like, she had this thing where it finally came to her after a lot of time of thinking. No. What usually happens with her is one of the other handmaids do the thinking for her. And in doing that, she rides along and she realizes, okay, this has to be done. Oftentimes the thinking is done for her. And that's the role that Lydia played in her life, right? Well, what Aunt Lydia used to do is she would put all sorts of fanciful tales in her ear and say all sorts of shit that would have her it would fill her head. Her head had been emptied by them. Okay? And let's go back to the simpleness of her. Head is empty. She's going along with it. And then remember in her first house, whatever that goddamn guy told her, she accepted it. The commander. And she's sitting there wondering, yo, why you not telling your wife? Yo, we're supposed to be the ones getting married and blah, blah, blah. Anything she was told, she was going to go with. Anything Aunt Lydia told her, she was going to go with. June, all the love June had, Alma did not, she was not on that, I'ma just go along with June. Remember that. She had to keep being convinced. But once June got down and protected a bunch of kids, it was like they were ready to risk their lives for her. It required that. Alma also would be the one who would have to get Janine. Hey, come on, girl, is it right? So when they're in there and they're freezing and they're at their most stripped down level, and you're like, most stripped down, even more than before? Yes, because there's these things that are very human. There are moments that are traumatic, okay? But then there's these moments, and I'm sure there's some sort of psychological term for this, where right then and there at that moment, it overrides every other thing. As I said, they in that cold ass climate in the refrigeration. They're the amount of stress that they have gone through has worn them down. They are physically exhausted from running, and they're hungry. Okay? All of those things. Think about how we are when we're hungry. Think about how we are when we're tired. And all of that without the fear of I might get killed, caught and killed. All that without the thought of my friends and my loved ones. Remember, she invoked the word love. They all just died. So when you hear them saying what they're saying, this is the truth. But they're saying it to each other in a animalistic. When I say animalistic, I don't mean wild and savage. What I mean is, if animals could talk, they're simple like that. They gonna get straight to the point and say exactly how they feel at that moment. And as humans, we'll do that. Usually shit gotta be right, correct. And then we're gonna say it in a way that doesn't offend. We're afraid of making people offended. And even in that situation, but then get down to this where you at your most stripped down moment, shit's going to come out and the response is going to be the response. So when she looks at June, like, wait a minute, did you snitch? First off, she starts by saying they loved you. They would die for you. And she goes, did you snitch? We didn't tell them. And then she's like, and she tells the thing about Hannah. And she goes, No, she basically says, I wouldn't have done that. You know why? Because once they let her know this is how it is, she goes with it. And it's crazy because you don't think that, because at the time she's simple. So what Aunt Lydia had put in her head, what the commander had put in her head, it was still there. But once she had been around all those handmaids and she had been in that situation, who she was, it had her spirit was refilled and renewed with something else. This sort of freedom fighting revolutionary spirit that she was like, yeah, I wouldn't have done that. I would have just thought of something. Now, who knows if she's telling the truth? But yeah. And then what does June respond with? June responds with going directly to her face and saying, I should have left you a long time ago. Why? Because they think she's the weak link and she's the simple one. So for her to survive, it's like, damn. Now, let's go to back in her past. She got G'd by the fake abortion clinic. And they put the game on her and she was like, word, and you know, because as I said, she's receptive of a lot of stuff. She's a simple woman. She's not, right? Like, she goes there, a normal person be like, what the fuck is this? They get up, get out. I won't say a normal person. A lot of people would, but a lot of people, it's like, yo, it may hit them. But for her, for sure, it would hit her. Okay? And so when she goes to the real doctor, same thing. What they told her at that moment. Okay. So by the time we get to the end and that scumbag Savage was like, hey, y'all got to pay me if y'all want to stay, basically, with, you know. And June doesn't want to do it. And you see her look back. And I'm like, oh, she's going to do it. And it's crazy because we know this character, but if you would have asked me to explain it before this episode, I wouldn't be able to explain her. But I just knew she was going to do it. And you see her come back, and it's not even traumatic for her or anything. She's just like, it's not that bad. Because she's like, it's not even we got to do what we got to do. It's, oh, no, this is what we're doing now. Like, she even goes, he liked the eye patch, right? This wasn't a statement for her, like, I'm going to do it no matter what so we can stay. It was, oh, no, this is what we're doing now. We got to stay on this side. And that's who she is. And that character is interesting to me. There was a few interesting moments to me. So the whole thing with the crisis centers, I've heard about these places. You know, I'm not going to get any more into that than I already have. When they spoke about the Catholics being able to get, like, it was something that just I hadn't thought about. They have a structure that would allow them to facilitate a lot of people to hurry up and get out. And they would be able to make, you know, fake passes and all sorts of stuff and issue it because everybody has an appointed place and they all fall under this umbrella. Whereas a lot of these other denominations, right? A lot of these other religions, they don't have that. Okay? Hey, listen, Serena and Fred are, yo, I like Rita because of what she was and what she represented on the show. She was our Martha. And when I say our, I mean the viewer's perception of Martha was shaped by her first before everybody else. So basically, when we saw other Marthas, the way we responded to them and received them is based off if they were like her. Because even when we saw Rita, she was like, you're like, oh, she don't take no shit. She wants shit to be. But we understood very early on, no, she's a slave. Okay? And as I said, there's no mistake on the show that a lot of those Marthas was black women. There was no mistake on this show. Like, most of the black women I've seen on the show have been Marthas. Okay. Let's see. Serena is such a diabolical bitch. I fuck it, man. You know what I mean? Like I said, I watch Breaking Bad. I hate no this woman because it's the smile and the acting generous and holding her belly and, you know, she's with child and all this horse shit and you're gonna help me, right? Not even you're gonna help me, and it's so good for you to be here and helping me. And I like when Rita comes to that. She doesn't even come to a realization. When that man brings her the folder, she's like, you know I was property? Like my Nissan Altima. I was registered and everything. That decision, there was no decision. It was right then and there. So she shows up there, and that man had the nerve to say all that. He's like, it's good to see a friendly face. She's like, we not friends. Fuck. Gave him that picture. And I was so happy to see these idiots. And as I said, this is one of those like things of class. Because if it was some scumbag guardian, he's going under the jail when he crosses. But because it's them on some diplomacy shit, they can't just outright kill him because that's immediately an act of war. That's that stupid old world shit. Like I said, you get a noble from another place. If you kill him, that's what you're known for. You're like, this is how much they used to trick people back in the day. How you going to call somebody a king killer? Think about when we watch Game of Thrones. There's a mad king. He's a savage. But the other person gets deemed the king killer and it's supposed to be some sort of bad name? What the fuck? But that's the way they treated it. And that holds on today. When you're a higher class, they're going to treat you as such oftentimes, okay? And to see these people hold up and just chilling. Man got on a bullshit sweater. She dressed like some fucking PTA mom or some shit. And I'm looking like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? But anyway, Rita showed him and was like, hey, guess what? I'll be praying for your son. And she bounced. And she eat that sushi and she living her life. Hey, that's not Mayday. And this makes sense. It's a bunch of splinter groups. They talked about the Republic of Texas. We don't know what's going on in your shit is broken up. It's decentralized. But here's the thing. As when June says, you don't know what I've done. They don't. They don't know what she's capable of. And they don't know how much she's actually helped. Because truth be told, had those guys not been killed by her, that should have been getting filleted right now. Like, they'd have been entered in that motherfucker. So, hey, next episode,